computer. And I'll start sharing. And I don't, you shouldn't be seeing my mail. There we go. So this week, you guys see that, by the way?
Yep.
All right. So this week we have 2 programs only, and today I'm going to even help you with the first one, and then you'll be working on the second one the rest of the week. I would start the second one so that you've had some experience with it by Thursday. That way, if you're having problems with it, we can work on it that day. The thing about the second, I'm going to do the second one first because it just, it actually works, okay? So if you have a credit card in your pocket or whatever, or one you've stolen from your parents or whatever you have, you can punch in their credit card number and it'll come back and tell you whether the card number is good. It will not tell you what their balance is or if you're overextended or whatever, but it will tell you, is that a valid credit card number? And if you design it correctly, it'll even tell you what kind of credit card it is, okay, when you pump the numbers in. Again, important things to remember that a credit card only has numbers. There's no letters in it. So you have to make sure that whatever they're punching in is valid as far as data goes. You can't have them punching in letters because the credit cards don't have letters in their number. The one we're going to look at today, we're going to do the password program. And the restrictions on that one are that there at least has to be 8 characters, that at least there's 1 alphabetic character, that there's at least 1 digit and at least 1 special character, okay? And we're going to break this program down into methods. Now, up until this point in this class, I've allowed you to shove everything into the main method, okay? Understand the main method is a special method that basically controls the program. But in reality, we want our methods to do one thing and do them well, or do that thing well. So we start breaking it down into parts. The other good thing about using methods is they're reusable. That's once you've created a method to do something, you usually can take that method out of this program and put it in another program. Especially like if you're working for somebody, they're not going to want to pay you over and over and over again to write the same code that you wrote, a week ago, a month ago, or even a year ago. And so we want to have that code be reusable. The other thing about it is we're going to build the program bit by bit. We're going to test it every time we add something. So it helps us to be able to debug our programs very easily. Because if it doesn't work at one stage in the development, it's not going to work at the end. You don't want to write a program, and I've tried to instill this earlier, that you get all done and it doesn't work. Okay, and then you have to start hunting for what part of it doesn't work. In our case today, from now on, the program, as you're building it, should work in every step along the way. What else about it? So not only does it allow us to debug it, but it allows us to build it in larger programs that might seem a large task. It allows us to build it in little pieces and then put all those pieces together. Let's see. So let's see. It's good for debugging. It's good for building it. We can test it as we go. Reusability. Those are all advantages of modularizing our program. Now, you may have heard the term function before. Well, a function is only a method that returns a value. If the method returns a value, then, and I'll show you what I mean by that as we program this program, then it is a function usually. That's what it's called. And in Java, we can only return, from a function, we can only return one value from the function because, again, functions or methods are supposed to do one thing and do them well. All right. I also showed you an example of a menu here for your own benefit that you can use or assimilate into your programs. Any questions today? All right. So we're going to go over here to Java, or the NetBeans, I should say. And we're going to create a new project. And of course, it's Ant again. And hopefully, come on. Oh, there we go. What? Download and activate. Why is that? That's crazy. I've only been using it since I got this computer. Maybe it had to update or something. I don't know. There we go. Okay, so we're going to call this the password validator or something like that. Validator. Password validator. Dun, 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 dun. Cold out. It's supposed to be 70 though today. I had to scrape ice off my window yesterday. That was crazy. If you haven't gathered, I'm not a big winter kind of guy. I think Illinois is the worst as far as seasons go. I like 3 seasons, but we don't have a big enough winter that you can you buy a snowmobile and you can't hardly use it because there's not enough snow. Or you buy a boat in the summertime and you can use it for about if you get 2 or 3 months of good weather to run it on. It's just not like if you live in Montana or somewhere down south. In Montana, you can use your snowmobile a lot. Just crazy. Have no skiing, virtually. This is the password validator. Although it is what it is. Whoops. It's a Java like that. Today's date is 06 September. And
it's actually October.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm a day late or a month late. Oh, gosh. And remember my name here. Purpose. So those are the requirements. We want at least 8 characters, at least 1 alphabetic character, at least 1 digit, and at least 1 special character. So that's what we need to check for. And since it says the user is going to put this in, I need to import the scanner. And there it locks up again. I don't know what it is about typing that in. It doesn't like. And then it always switches it to that. And then we're going to clean this up a little bit. Like that indented a good amount. All right. And I think that'll work. Get my divider in here. Because now you're going to have more than one of these. All right. And we'll get our first do loop in. The one that makes it run multiple times. Again, people are still losing points. I've got this as a major deduction if your program only runs one time. And then, okay, so I need to instantiate my, and I'm going to put it outside the main up here this time. I'm going to instantiate my scanner, but I want to be able to use it in at least two of my methods. And so the scope of it has to be bigger than the main. So I'm going to put it out here. So it's going to be private, static. Let's see, private, static, final, scanner, and name it, let's see, user con for user console. It's equal to a new scanner of the type system.in. All right, so we got that. So now I can come here and type, I need a variable. And let's make it a char. Play again. It's equal to, oh, I don't need that. Something like that. And so play again. Is going to be assigned the value user con dot next parentheses to upper. Oops. Char at 0. You should be getting used to this little line of code there if you use my method. And then here we'll have our while. Play again. Is equal to, oops, single quotes, y, uppercase. got that. And see if it runs right. So if I type Y, it continues. If I type yak, it returns. If I type a capital Y, it works. Small letter Y, it works. Any other character, it quits. User friendliness, again. If you make them type a capital Y, that's silly. Or if you make them type yes in, that's silly. It's not necessary. Okay, so we have that. We have our thing that makes it run over and over again. So that saves us from Doug's giving you guys a point off for that password. So now we need some type of menu. So let's see if we can do this. Let's go ahead and do show menu. Let's see, do I want to? Let's, I guess we can change. Let's do it this way instead. Let's go here and put in string password. And then we can have password is assigned set password like that. So we got that one. So now outside of the main, we're going to have a method, and it is going to be a string method, and it's going to be set password. So it'll be private, static, string, set password. Like that. And so we're going to say system.out print I guess we'll do this. And we'll put a slash n here. And slash t dash. And then Mailman. Let's see. Let's do this. I'm gonna change this. And then so this is what I'm sending back. So up here, it says this means go down to the method with this name. So I come down here, do this, and then I return to the same spot, and then that's assigned to this variable here. So now we'll test that. Line. Okay. And then we'll test it. Comes up like that. Oh, I don't like that. And I type in password and it returns it, okay? So I don't like that. I'm going down to this line here. Why is that? Oh, because I put an N here instead of just a space. So that should fix that. Sure you save. Okay, I'm gonna leave this up for a minute and I gotta go check on these dogs real quick. Okay, sorry about that. A cleaning lady, my dogs are trying to tear apart. Okay, so we got that. Anybody's not working? anybody have a question on how I accomplish that?
No, seems like you explained it.
Thank you. All right, every once in a while you guys should say something so I know you're not asleep or whatever. I like talking. That's what I miss about being in the classroom. Okay, so there's our first thing. So now we have some things we need to do. The first thing we need to do after getting the password, of course, now the civil defense monthly siren is going off. That's always nice. We need to check the length, right? So, because we don't want to do anything until we know what the length is. So I'm going to say here, I'm going to create a Boolean that says is valid or is length. Let's just do that. Okay. So I want that. So I'm going to have one here. It says is length. And so then I'm going to say here, I'm going to create validate length. Notice how in my method names, I have a verb and then a noun, okay? And what do I want to validate the length of? Well, I need to send down the password because my method can't see the password up here because the scope of it is not big enough for it to see down here. It's like this variable here, this pass WD, is only good from right here to right here. This variable string password is only good from right here to right here. Boolean length is only good right here, nowhere else. So if I want to validate this password, I have two options. I can move password out into here, okay, so that it can be seen by any method in the class. Well, that's not the most economical way to do it, okay? And so we learn how to pass these arguments into the parameter of another method. So we can pass them around versus putting them all up here in the total class. It's just a better, it's more economic, let's put it that way. Hang on one second. Now they're barking at the mailman. Jeez Louise. All right, so we're going to put this like this. And we need to create validate length. So we're going to come down here outside of any other of our methods. And so this is going to be a Boolean called validate length. Oh, somebody else has a siren going. All right, so it's going to be private static. What I say it is Boolean validate length, and we need to get the password. So we'll say it's a string, and we'll just call it word. So here we're declaring a variable to be used in this method that catches what, like this is the pitcher up here, and it's pitching this argument down to this parameter and putting it in this copy or creating this copy of that, the content of that variable. So there. So now we can do simply, it's probably just as easy to just say if word length is greater than or equal to 8, then we're going to go ahead and return true. And then if it's not, why am I getting an error there? Let's see what I got going here. No, I'm not return true. I think I can just put return false here. So let's see, it's going to yell, what is it? It is redundant. No, it isn't. Okay, if it's greater than that, da 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 da. Let's see if that in fact will work. So I'm just going to type in password. Oh, I forgot to put in the code I wanted up on top. Let's go back up to our top and move this system. Let's cut that out of there. So I'm going to say Control X. And then right underneath this, we're going to paste it back in, Control V. And we're going to have it print out is length. So we're going to say that plus a space plus is length. So now we'll type in password. And you can see there it says true. Now I'll type in a Y to continue, and I'll type in just pass. And you can see it says pass false. So that seems to work fine. Again, there's the code for it.
I'm getting an error for the is like dash validate like the password. It says it's not a statement.
Where at?
The is length equals. Oh wait, I have a dash instead of equals. That's my problem. It's always something that simple.
There you go. It's. I had somebody. I'm not going to pick on it, but if I don't know, we've already done the ISBN. But if you were having trouble with that, if you print out your totals, okay, if you were doing your odds and your evens, and you print them out, and all of a sudden you're getting these big numbers, and you know that they can't be right. The numbers you're printing out are the ASCII values of the letters. So it's adding up the ASCII values versus the digit, the value of the digit. So that's one thing that was with that program. Okay, so now we know that works. So now we can run this out. We know that part works. We fixed that. And the next thing it said it had to have at least one alphabetic character, right? So we're going to say Boolean is letter. And so we'll type in here is letter equal to validate letter. And then password, we have to pass that down there again. So now we have we created a new method that we need down here. So we're going to go here, Again, this will be a Boolean. Validate letter. And so it'll be private, static, Boolean, validate letter. And again, we're going to pass it down here, and we'll keep it Word again. And again, this one here is good where? It's good right here. This one will be good right here. They're not the same. Okay. So again, just make sure. In fact, here, I'll do this for you. This is Word 2. So you don't think it's the same password. All right, so let's go ahead and create a Boolean is valid. And then let's make it is valid false, just so we're sure. It's equal to false. And now, if it does have a letter, we need to change that to true, okay? So we're gonna say for int count is equal to 0, because we need to go through the whole password to find out if there's any letters in it. And then if count is that, and then we want count to be less than the word 2 dot length, and then count plus plus. Then I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we'll say if character dot is letter, and then word 2 dot char at count 1, 2, 3, 3. Then we want to change is valid to true. So again, where did I get this from? Page 1, you guys already seen this. It's on page 132, I believe, of your textbook. Okay. And then I just need to return is valid. Again, and my stuff should line up. Maybe I'll indent this a little bit more. And maybe indent all of this one more. That way, there's no question of what's inside of what. So now let's run up to the top here, and we're going to cut so Control X, come down below this one, Control V, put it back in, get rid of the rem statements or rem characters, and then we're going to plus another space. And then plus the geez, plus the is letter. And then we'll go ahead, and I've got something running here. All right, I can run it. And if I type in password, I get a true because it's at least 8 characters and there's at least one alphabetic letter. If I type in a Y here and type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I get a true false because there are no alphabetic letters in there. So it appears that it's working. So make sure yours works. If you need me to move anywhere, tell me, Doug, I need to see your code somewhere.
Can you just do a slow scroll through, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm not hearing anybody complaining, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to run this out again and move on to the next thing. The next one I need is it has to at least have 1 digit. So I'm going to go here, Boolean is digit. And we'll go down here, say is digit is equal to validate digit. And once again, we need to send the password to the method as an argument. So that'll go into parameter. Scroll down here. Now I'm going to take this, the last one I did, I'm going to just copy it since I know it worked. Come down here, Control V, put it in there. Change this up here to validate digit. Change this right here to validate digit. Change right here is, I think it's digit. Blah, 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 blah. Move this over where it belongs. I'm going to run back up to the top here. I'm going to cut this out of here. Control X. Come down here. Control V. Hit enter a couple times. Unrun this out. And add on here. Plus a space. And then plus is digit. And I'll run it. Okay, so now if I do password number 1, it says I get true, true, true. So it's 8 digits long. It has at least 1 alphabetic character and 1 number. If I just type password now, I get, oops, I needed to type a Y, sorry. Okay, so now I'll just type password and I get true, true, false. Okay, if I type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, I get a true, false, true. So it appears that it's working, or I could even type a 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2A. And I get a false, true, true, because there's not 8 characters. So it seems to be working perfectly. And now this one's a little clever. We're going to take this one again, Control C it, come down here, Control V it. Oh, should have gone up to the top and wrote I'll fix it first, so it won't matter. So I'm going to validate special and change this to validate special. Jeez, if I could type, that'd be good. Be dangerous. Okay, in here though, it's going to say if parentheses not. In other words, we're going to put an exclamation point or a bang in there. And then it's going to say is letter or digit. So this says if it is not a letter or a digit. Well, if it's not a letter or a digit, then it has to be what? A special character. Now, I see some people that make these and then they'll put in, it has to be a $sign, it has to be a semicolon, it has to be an exclamation point. They give a list. I prefer to just any character that is not a number or is not a letter. Those are the special characters. So that's how I make mine. I think it's more user friendly. And then we need to go up here. And this time I'm just going to move all this down and say is special is equal to validate special. And once again, I'm sending down the password as the argument. There, and it's going to yell at me because I don't have a Boolean is special up here. Okay. And then we'll go to the end down here. We'll add our space to do our testing with. And then is special on the end. All right, save that and run it. Keep exiting without. All right. So there we go. And I'm going to type in password number 1 exclamation point. And I get a true for length. I get a true for alphabet. I get true for a digit. And I get true for a special character. Now let's just do password number 1. And it says true for length, true for alpha, true for digit, but false for special character. And I can do pass 2, 3, $. And you can see, oops, that's the that's the Y there, Doug. Okay, pass 1, 2, 3, $. And it fails on, wait, oh, I did 8 characters, so it passes that. I can do PA 1, 2, 3, $, oops, or £, and I get a false true, true, true because the length is not there. Okay. All right. So that all works. So now that's wonderful, but it really only runs one till, let me get a choice again. But why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and run this out. and just make a Boolean that says is password. Okay. And then we're going to say here, is password is going to be equal to is length and is letter and is digit and is special. Now, from your past learning and decisions, you should know what? What's the only time an and is, or a series of ands are come out as true?
Is if they're all true.
If they're all true, okay. So now let's go up to here inside of our do and type another do. Okay. And then we're going to take all of this down to here and set it a little bit. And then we'll come down here. And said, if his password is not equal to true, then we want to bring up a message. I guess I could have done true. Let's do true here. And then system.out print line password plus okay. Yikes. Oh, I missed the line here. Right under this one. Let's see, what's it going to show? Password. Yeah, that'll work. His password is true. Okay. Now, see where it's yelling at me for this? That's because it can't see his password. Why? because it's inside the do loop. So I need to move that outside the inner do loop. So I need to take this, Control X, come up here, Control V it here. And then that goes away. Let me run it. And let's see if this works. So I'll just type pass. And it says pass is not a valid password. Try again. Provide your password. I type password. It says no, not a valid password. Try again. And if I type in yes or enter here, I type in password exclamation point 1. It says password 1 is a valid password, and then end to quit. Okay, so I just don't like, what I don't like is that it's all glomped together. So I am going to put in here a heading. A banner of some type. The only thing I don't like. So system.out.println /n. And I think that'll work. See what that looks. Oh, there needs to be a /n there. Oh, no, they don't. We already got it. Okay, let's see how this works now. That looks nicer. If I type in pass, that's better. Pass is not a valid password. Try again. Comes up, splits the screen a little bit. If I type password 1 or exclamation point 1, it says enter here is a valid password. Y to continue. Okay. Oh, jeez. Just beat everybody up here. Okay. All right, and I don't like, I'm going to put a space in there. Oops. Like, come on. There. So that there's, once we do, it doesn't jam it up in there. I hate when stuff is jammed together because I don't think it looks professional. See there now? I got a nice little space there. All right, so I think that looks pretty good. Last thing I'm going to do is come down here and put my goofy little thing in here that says no code follows. And I got one other little ditty I'm going to put in. Where's it going to go? It's going to go right here.
All right, I probably have an ignorant question.
Okay.
So why did we not try to incorporate your has next into this?
Because it doesn't, we could, but does it, because we're taking it in as a string, we don't really, we're not really getting a number. Understand? A digit is different than getting a number.
Okay.
Like you're, all right?
Yeah, okay.
So I don't really need to check. I mean, all I'm saying is that you didn't enter a digit, you know? So to do that, I'm just doing it by using the is digit or yeah, the character, where is it at? Here, right here. Okay. Because I don't really know where the number's going to be or the digit's going to be. It's not like I can like I'm entering a number that's going to be used as a number. Would be my answer to your question, but that's a good question.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, no, because I think I've got it in my head. Okay, I got to figure out where to incorporate it, and I'm like, wait, he didn't add it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, again, if I was going out and getting a number, then I would probably go ahead. I would have to use. I would want to use as next integer or have next double or whatever.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Hang on a second, please. Okay, sorry again. That's my concealed carry guy. Let's see here. What else do we need? I think that's a pretty cool program, actually. I think it went well. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's good. I
I'm
like
just
it.
going to scroll through it real slow so that it's on the video, what we did.
I only have one question.
Yes, sir.
Under the private static Boolean validate length, mine says the if statement is redundant. What?
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. I don't know. I've been trying to think, what could I have done to get rid of that warning? This one is what you're looking at.
Yep. Yeah. It's just my,
Yeah, and
OCD seeing that.
well, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know how else you would check for length for that method. If da da da. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, because I mean, I could make it false. Yeah, see, I could go up here and make is length this false, right? And then when I send it down there, it could make it true. But I don't see why it's redundant. I mean, if I remove this even, Oh, then it goes away. Oh, but then it says you're not returning anything because the return true is stuck in here.
Yeah.
Let me try something real quick. Is Boolean is valid. Let's see if it likes this better. Because I did it kind of that's kind of a shortcut. Having two return statements in here is kind of strange. So let's try if we do it more kosher here. I can do, get rid of this and make is valid equal to true. And if that's false there, that's fine. And then we return is valid. And it likes that better. So maybe go ahead and change them so you don't have that warning. And this works exactly the same as what we had. Sweet. So any questions?
Yeah, one sec. I wanted to see the private static validate special.
Don't forget you need this right here. The bang, the bang. And again, this is letter or digit. That's found on like page 132 of your book.
Yeah, that's the problem. It says it's not. Oh, okay. I see what's wrong. Never mind. Thank you.
You're welcome. You start adding up a bunch of parentheses out here. You always got to remember there's 3 of them.
I forgot to capitalize or.
Ah, there you go. See? Anybody else got a problem we can solve real quick? So again, we've modularized the program. Can you imagine this? We could have shoved all this in the main. Okay. But look at how nice we built it. Step by step, we went through and met every demand that we said up here. Built it step by step. We checked each step as we went. And by doing that, we came out with a program that's much longer and more complicated. And it was fairly easy to write. All right, so that's probably, I'm going to stop sharing now. And I'm going to stop recording now.